it also let me know, Devon, in some levels, like I've got a rod of steel inside me that I didn't know I had. And that when I was down and there was like nothing, it was like that I could not go down. I don't even know what that meant, but it was like, I just like, wow, like I am like solid, like I'm going ahead, I'm going to live. This is all going to come out. I don't know exactly how, but it's going to work out. So it's sort of maybe faith, faith in life, faith in the future, faith in myself.
Hey guys, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories, where absolutely we tell you real life stories of persistence, perseverance, overcoming, getting back from setbacks. And because we think you can relate to those stories and we want to share them as you embark on your own success journey. And today I'm excited to welcome my friend Lynn Thomas to the show. Lynn, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories.
Thank you, Devon. I'm delighted to be here. Thanks for having me on.
I'm delighted that you're here too. So what we'd like to know, Lynn, is what it is that you do. How do you bring value? How do you serve others?
I help companies to keep their top clients and top employees so they don't have to replace them. And that's been more challenging during COVID, especially with employees. But there's, bottom line is people want to know they're being cared about. And how can you communicate that you care about your employees and you care about your clients so they stay? And so I help companies to increase that, because when you keep employees and clients and they have strong relationships, that goes into the future, and it's really the fuel for your business growth over the next 4 to 5 years.
Indeed. Happy employees, happy clients, right?
Yes. Happy employees, happy clients, happy all stakeholders, which for me is the triple win, which are clients, employees, and shareholders.
Indeed. So if someone wanted to find you to benefit from your wisdom and your expertise, Lynn, how would they find you?
Probably LinkedIn, Lynn Thomas. You can find me there, or our website, which is thomasconsultingwins, WINS.com.
thomasconsultingwins.com. That's where you find the lady, man, or on LinkedIn. So let's get down to the meat of the matter here, Lynn. I would like to know, all of us would like to know your Keep On Pushing story. We'd like to hear of a time when you had to overcome a significant challenge or stretch out of your comfort zone to get back on track or go achieve something amazing. So please do tell us your Keep On Pushing story.
Sure. Thanks for asking, Devon. Mine was shortly after I left my last company that I worked with, which was Bank of Boston. And I was a year into creating my own business. And I learned that my younger sister was murdered. And she had a 10-month-old son. And it brought me to my knees. I felt, if you want to call it survivor's guilt or something, like, well, yeah, I want to grow my business. That's being really guilty. I should be happy I'm alive. So I went through a lot of survivor's guilt. And it was the persistence of just, I wanted to find a way to bring more joy, more connection, more ease of working into the world. And after what I had been through and going through, which was sort of the most devastating moment or time in my life, to feel my feelings as I was, and to still keep moving forward to create my business. So I did keep putting one foot in front of the other and kept looking to see opportunities to mostly do a lot of speaking engagements. I did a lot of articles that I wrote, and I got a really great break to speak at an international convention of independent insurance agents here in Boston. And that's when I'd say my business really took off, and my phone rang for 18 months. And that was sort of when I felt like I had finally successfully created a business. But there were times I wanted to quit. There were times I wanted to just it just felt like it was too much. I didn't have it in me anymore. I was still creating who I was in the aftermath of my sister's murder. And it's probably the ability to go through that and to come out and be able to live a happy, joyous life, not without its ups and downs, but not to have that be who I am or define who I am, but to be an impetus for me to move forward, to create a great life for myself, for my family, and for my clients. So it was a powerful push, and it could have, someone said I could have become a really bitter, angry person, and I chose to do, I guess, the opposite. And it's not that I didn't have anger, because I did, and I still do, but it's the thoughts and what I focus on, and what I focus on grows. So I focus on success. I focus on the clients I'm serving, prospects. What can I do? How I can help. That is what kept me also going. And my younger sister was also really a real dynamite. And I know she would have been, or she is, cheering me on the other side. So I always felt like if I listened closely enough, I would feel that impetus to move forward.
Yeah, so most, if not all of us, have lost someone that we know. Definitely someone who's close to us. Not many people have lost a loved one through violent means, and I can only imagine how much more painful that is. So, in your most desperate, darkest time during as you grieved your sister, can you think back and figure out what are some of the concrete steps you took to kind of get you out of those dark times?
Yeah, one of them was I joined a support group for homicide survivors, and that was really helpful. And to hear from other people that, like, the feelings I was having were what other people were having, and I wasn't sort of going crazy, or whatever. What I was feeling was normal. And for the events. Also, I was very open with it with people. I don't hide it from people. And so by sharing it with, obviously, my friends, but even future friends, that it's something I don't tell immediately about myself, but I don't hide it. And so there's no part of me that feels ashamed about that. So it was the fact of that's part of who I am. And if it's relevant and it comes up, I speak about it. What else? I've spoken at various different groups about being a homicide survivor and what to do and how to support. And I have committed, financial resources for me to help homicide survivors. And I think I can't do much I can't bring my sister back, but what I can do is do my best to make the world a safer place. And I'm very committed in from bullying, starting with bullying, and then you can go to, all degrees of abuse, whatever, up to homicide, which is the worst. But it really stems from somebody thinks that they're better than somebody else, and they take it out on them in some way, or they get triggered, and it's like that happens on all levels in our lives. But this was an extreme level, so it gave me to see that the other ones, anytime I get triggered, it's like not as much as that, so I can handle it. It also let me know, Devon, in some levels, like I've got a rod of steel inside me that I didn't know I had, and that when I was down and there was like nothing, it was like that I could not go down. I don't even know what that meant, but it was like I just like, wow, like I am like solid, like I'm going ahead, I'm going to live. This is all going to come out. I don't know exactly how, but it's going to work out. So it's sort of maybe faith, faith in life, faith in the future, faith in myself, and trusting, for me, God, and trusting life, that it all will move forward, because we always do. And as somebody said, I have her in my heart, and I have to build a condo for her in my heart. So in some ways, I've been building a condo and holding my sister in my heart.
Right, right.
So
So
even getting to the point of laughing about it, so that's the
yeah,
healthy part.
which helps absolutely. So you mentioned survivor's guilt earlier. So getting past that, some of the activities, the actions that you took, speaking and committing financial resources, were those some of the things that helped you to get past that survivor's guilt?
They did. To understand, it does occur even in cases where not just homicide, but in many different cases, men talk about coming home from wars and they feel survivor's guilt because some of their fellow soldiers didn't make it. So reading a little bit about it, but mostly, I had a right to live a good life. Survivor's guilt is somehow like I'm responsible or I did something wrong, and I didn't. And even though consciously I knew that, on some level inside, it does emotionally, it does get sort of mucked up. So working with those feelings and getting really clear, like I deserve to have a great life. I didn't do anything to create this. And at different times, the emotions get a little bit murky, but most of the time it was if that thought would come up, like somehow I should be punished because my sister was murdered. It's like, where does that come from? That's crazy thinking. That's just, some neurons got overlaid, or they're firing off when they shouldn't be. So recognizing that when that feeling came up, to like, nope, X, wrong, out, goodbye. And it took probably 4 years, I would say. I remember 1994, still having remnants of it. So but I'm sort of a really good person with feelings. Like I can go really deep, and I pull any vestiges out. So if there's a little bit of it in there, I go right after it. Anything that's sort of negative that I can extricate for myself, get rid of it. So
so you mentioned there were times when you wanted to quit, but you did not. You mentioned the rod of steel. Is that what you connected to? And if so, how do you do that? How does our audience find their own rod of steel?
I would say I hit bottom there. I hit, I don't remember the moment. I remember there were moments. I remember one early on, I felt, gosh, I don't know anybody who's had anybody murdered. And my heart opened to compassion for myself, that I was going through something I had no experience of and nobody I knew did. So there was something like, okay, and that was a moment. I think each person, whatever would take you down, because what I thought is, if this is what this earth, the kind of pain this earth can give, I'm too gentle for this earth. Like I'm not of this planet. Because my heart ached. I mean, people talk about it being a muscle. It was like my heart ached for like 14 months. I didn't want to really live. Every night I said to God, take me. I just take me. I didn't do anything, but take me. And then after 14 months, I don't know exactly what happened, but I woke up and I said, it's okay for me to live. So that was a little bit of survivor's guilt. I was going through the time, I think the first year was the hardest. But I think just putting one step in front of the other, seeing the progress that I was making. And how did I get to that rod of steel? I think just seeing progress, seeing, every day, I'm pretty disciplined. Every day I went to work, and whatever that was at that time, or wherever I went. And I made a list of things I was going to do, and I did it. And maybe I wasn't as effective or as productive as I could be, but I went through at least the motions of it. And little by little, the work, I probably became a bit of a workaholic, it's just some aspects of it, but better than going to other things. And, I processed, I'm still processing on a different level, but through developing that rod, it was like, do I want to live? Because there are a lot of, one of the men in my homicide group, he works with heroin addicts. And he said, I think it was 87% of heroin addicts, the impetus is a homicide. So it was like, okay, I didn't go that route. Okay, so I didn't go that route. So I did pick another route, and sharing it with other people. And other people have had their own when they hit bottom. And I guess it's some part of me, I wanted to live, it's like, I wanted to live life. I wanted to live a long life. I wanted to be, a full life. My sister died at 32. I was 34. You know, there's no reason I shouldn't. And that would bubble up at times, and it'd be like, no, that's a thought, not a good one. And I put that aside. And I think sometimes what I did, I would write it down and then tear it up in a piece of paper. Like, that's not just to sort of viscerally feel it being torn up and thrown it away, or various things. I remember molding something out of clay that was like my sister's killer, and then like sort of destroying that. So I think I was feeling more empowered, because I was powerless to bring my sister back. And that sort of was a layover. And then once I felt more powerful and I empowered to create the life I wanted to, I think that's more of what and who I am now than about the powerless, devastated sister who just was like, we were gonna spend holidays together and do businesses together, and we had a whole future planned, and all that was gone. So I had to recreate a lot. So
what's the biggest lesson you learned from the experience, Lynn?
You never know what's going on in people's lives, and you never, or I never know what's really going on in people's lives. So no judgments. I try to stay as judgment-free as possible, and really, really treasure life and treasure what you have, because literally it can be gone tomorrow, and with zero warning. And so I do every evening before I go to bed, I think of 20 things I'm grateful for, and go to sleep with a smile on my face and grateful for today. And it could be even that light. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Even that light was green, because I was running about a minute late, and that light just, woo, thank you so much, God. That was great, that light. Oh boy, do that again for me tomorrow. I'll take that anytime. And those little things, it doesn't have to be big things, but just those moments of just sheer gratitude to be alive. And other things that can be really wonderful. But it's just, if I were to die tomorrow, I would feel I've lived a full life as fully as I could have. It's like I didn't shirk things. I didn't not give my 100%. So I've done my best, and I've expressed a lot of gratitude, and people that I love know that I love them, and I have complete relationships. I don't have anything unsaid, because after my sister died, and I didn't have things unsaid with her, but other members of my family, I was like, whoa. Okay, Kim, I was totally complete with, but other people. So I just, whatever I need to say, I make sure I say it in the kindest way I can. If it's something hard, or if it's something wonderful, it's like Peter Diamandis says, the people that you value and love, make sure they know it. Tell it to them frequently, tell it to them often, and tell it to them in big expressive ways. So people that I care about and love know it.
Yeah. Wow, what a treat to be able to chat with you. Such an impactful experience that could have gone south, but that rod of steel that's inside of you caused you to stand and be able to tell the story. I'm sure there are other people who, have dealt with losing a loved one through homicide. And I think your story is going to lift them up, Lynn. Thank you for that. And they're profound, amazing lessons as well. Faith, believing in yourself, having that desire to live, right? And then just being grateful for life, being grateful for the little things and the big things, really does make a full life. So again, thank you for sharing with us.
My pleasure, Devon. Thanks for having me on.
Indeed. So guys, if you enjoyed this, if you found it valuable, then please give us a like, leave a comment, and just as importantly, share it, because your friends want to be inspired as well. All right. Until we connect next time, I look forward to sharing with you. You know what to do. Keep on pushing.